You know Marcus. Maybe you are Marcus. He makes $85,000 a year. He's in his early 30s, works a solid job, and every morning he walks out to a $55,000 truck. Chrome package, leather seats, the kind of thing that turns heads at a red light. His coworkers assume he's doing well. His Instagram confirms it. There's Cancun, there's a ski trip, there's a birthday dinner at a restaurant where the menu doesn't have prices. He looks like a guy who has figured something out. His bank account has $400 in it. He's carrying $8,700 on a credit card. He'll make the minimum payment on this month. He went to bed last night doing math in his head about whether the insurance payment coming out Thursday would clear before his paycheck hit Friday. Then there's Tyler, same city, same age, same $85,000 salary. He drives a 2019 Toyota Camry with 74,000 miles on it. Normal apartment, normal neighborhood, clothes you describe, if pressed, as fine. He did not go to Cancun. He is not interesting at dinner parties. Tyler has $187,000 sitting in a Vanguard index fund. No credit card debt. He went to sleep last night without thinking about money once. Marcus looks rich, Tyler is building wealth, and the gap between those two things, between the performance of financial success and the actual accumulation of it, is one of the most expensive mistakes a person can make. My name is Nick, and I've spent way too much time obsessing over exactly why this gap exists and what happens the moment someone decides to stop feeding it. If any part of that sounds familiar, subscribe, because today we're going to get into the math, the psychology, and the specific moment when everything starts to shift. Let me be precise about what we're actually talking about. This is not a video telling you to stop spending money on things you enjoy. The argument is narrower than that. It's about a specific category of spending made not because something improves your life, but because of what it signals about your life to people who are statistically not paying attention. There's a $2,400 bag that carries your stuff exactly as well as a $45 tote. There's a $55,000 truck that gets you to work exactly as reliably as a $15,000 Corolla. There's the restaurant chosen not because the food is 12 times better, but because the name sounds like a certain kind of person eats there. Economists call this conspicuous consumption, but you don't need the term, you've felt the pull. The instinct toward the thing that communicates something rather than the thing that just works. Here's the thing about that pull. It's not a character flaw, it's a psychological reflex so embedded in human behavior that researchers estimate roughly 1 in 10 of your daily thoughts involves comparing yourself to someone else. When that comparison makes you feel behind, the brain's instinct is to spend to close the gap visually to signal that you belong. You're running 200,000-year-old social survival software in a world that figured out how to monetize it. And the industry that profits from you, never examining that reflex, has spent billions making sure you don't. So let's examine it. The average new car payment in America right now is $767 per month. $767. That's not a BMW. That's the average payment for a regular car bought by a regular person. If you're in a truck or SUV, you're looking at $900, $1,000, sometimes $1,100 a month for a vehicle that will be worth roughly 40% of its purchase price in 5 years. A 3-year-old Honda Accord runs you $15,000 to $18,000. Modern cars routinely go 200,000 miles if you maintain them. The reliability gap between new and 3 years old is essentially fictional. Pay cash or take the shortest loan possible, and your monthly transportation cost is somewhere between $0 and $300. The gap between those scenarios is $500 to $700 per month, every month, for the length of a 69-month loan. Then there's dining out, America's most underestimated budget leak. The average person spends $879 per month at restaurants, per month. That is more than most people's car payment. And for the first time in recorded history, we now spend more than half our total food budget eating out rather than cooking. Some of that is genuine enjoyment. A meaningful chunk is the expensive lunch because the meeting was draining, the trendy dinner because someone was visiting, the $22 cocktail because the bar had exposed brick and you were already there. That's not enjoyment. That's performance. And it costs roughly $400 to $500 per month more than it needs to. Add store brand groceries versus name brand. Consumer Reports blind tests consistently show they're identical more than half the time, and you're recovering another $125 per month. Vacation debt. 26% of Americans carry debt from a trip they've already finished taking. The tan is gone, the credit card is not. When you total the car premium, the dining excess, the brand markup, the vacation debt, the neighborhood premium, the conservative annual status tax lands between $10,000 and $15,000. That's the surcharge. The amount above what a functionally equivalent life costs, paid specifically to maintain an image. Let me show you exactly what this looks like, because abstract numbers are easy to dismiss. Concrete numbers are harder to ignore. Marcus makes $85,000 a year. Gross monthly $7,083 after federal tax, state tax, and FICA. He takes home roughly $5,200. That's his actual money. Now let's watch it disappear. Truck payment, $867. Insurance on the truck, because new trucks are expensive to insure, $230. Gas, because trucks get about 17 miles per gallon, and Marcus commutes $280. We're at $1,377, and Marcus hasn't touched anything else. A rent in the neighborhood he likes to mention, $1,450. Utilities, electricity, gas, water, internet, phone, $320. Groceries, and Marcus buys the good stuff, $420. Dining out, let's be generous and say $750. Subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, the gym he goes to twice a month, the meal kit service, the cloud storage, the app he forgot to cancel in 2022, $190. Student loans, $380. Health insurance premium not fully covered by his employer, $180. Added up, $867 plus $230 plus $280 plus $1,450 plus $320 plus $420 plus $750 plus $190 plus $380 plus $180. That is $5,067 per month. Marcus takes home $5,200. He has $133 left. And we haven't touched clothing, car maintenance, medical copays, birthday gifts, Amazon at 11 p.m., the minimum payment on the $8,700 credit card balance, which at 21% interest runs him about $175 per month just to stay in place. Marcus is not broke. He makes $85,000 a year, but he is one unexpected expense away from a charge he can't cover. The HVAC breaks. That's $3,000 he doesn't have. Someone rear ends him. The deductible goes on the card. His dog needs surgery. He's financing veterinary care at 21% interest. This is the texture of being Marcus, technically comfortable, quietly terrified, performing confidence he doesn't actually feel. Now, run Tyler's numbers. Same $5,200 take home. Use Camry, no payment. Insurance, $110. Gas, because a Camry gets 32 miles per gallon, $140. Rent in a perfectly fine but not Instagram-worthy neighborhood, $1,100. Utilities, $280. Groceries, store brands, where it doesn't matter, $320. Dining out, actual enjoyment, not performance, $300. Student loans, same as Marcus, $380. Health insurance, $180. Total, $2,810 per month. Tyler has $2,390 left over every month, which goes into Vanguard and doesn't get touched. Same salary, same city, $2,390 difference per month. That's the game. Here's where it gets hard to look at. $2,390 per month at the S&P 500's historical average of 10% annually. After 10 years, $486,000. After 20 years, $1.8 million. After 30 years, if you're 30 right now and Tyler is your model, $5.4 million from the difference between a truck and a Camry, between performance dining and actual dining, between the impressive neighborhood and the fine one. And here's the part that makes this even more lopsided. Tyler's annual expenses are $33,720. Under standard financial independence math, you need 25 times your annual expenses to never have to work again. His number is $843,000. He crosses that somewhere around year 14. He's 44 and done if he wants to be. Marcus's annual expenses are north of $60,000. His target is $1.5 million. And since he's saving almost nothing, since the truck and the lifestyle and the interest are eating everything, he's not moving toward that number. He's treading water, wearing a very expensive watch. Thomas Stanley spent decades studying actual American millionaires, verified seven-figure net worths, not people who looked the part, the number one car brand among American millionaires, Toyota, followed by Honda, then Ford. The average millionaire drives a car about 4 years old. Only 5.7% have ever paid $1,000 or more for a suit. The typical millionaire's last haircut costs $16 including tip. Nearly 40% regularly buy wine that costs around $10 a bottle. I want you to sit with that. The person most statistically likely to be a millionaire in your neighborhood is the one you'd never guess at a dinner party. He's wearing a $22 Costco polo. He drives a Camry. He ordered the house wine and asked if anyone wanted to split the appetizer. He has more money than everyone else at the table combined, plus probably the 3 tables nearby. The Ramsey Solutions National Study surveyed over 10,000 verified millionaires. 79% received no inheritance. 1/3 never made 6 figures in any single year. And here's the one that gets me. Non-millionaires purchase 86% of all luxury cars sold in America. 86%. The gleaming truck at the red light, the leased German sedan, overwhelmingly not wealthy people. People spending like wealthy people as a strategy to feel like wealthy people, which is a strategy that mathematically prevents becoming wealthy people. It is almost elegant in how perfectly self-defeating it is. Warren Buffett, worth north of $150 billion, lives in the same Omaha house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Breakfast budget under $3.17. Usually McDonald's, with exact change his wife puts in the cup holder every morning. He once drove a car with the license plate Thrifty. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same gray t-shirt every day. Jeff Bezos drove a Honda Accord. These aren't people who can't afford better. They stopped performing wealth so long ago they've apparently forgotten it was ever expected of them. Well, Cornell researchers had participants wear an embarrassing t-shirt, a big Barry Manilow face, then sent them into a room full of people. Afterward, how many people noticed the shirt? Participants guessed around 50%. The actual number was 25%. People overestimate how closely others are watching them by a factor of 2. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect, and it applies to your car, your neighborhood, and everything else you've spent status money on this year. The audience you're performing for is half the size you think, and most of those people are performing their own show and not watching yours. A 2010 study in the Journal of Marketing found something revealing. Genuinely wealthy people prefer quieter, more subtle status signals. Brands where only other wealthy people can tell the difference. The loud logo, the oversized truck, the obviously expensive accessory, those are statistically associated with people spending upward, trying to signal into a group they haven't joined yet. It's a game where the finish line keeps moving and the entrance fee is paid monthly. And then there's the part nobody warns you about. You buy the truck. For 3 weeks, maybe a month, it feels incredible. Every time you get in, there's a little hit. The smell, the height, the way it looks in a storefront window, it feels like you've arrived. Then it just becomes the truck. The truck you owe $867 per month on. Dan Ariely's research on price and experience shows this is neurologically predictable. The brain's reward response to a status purchase peaks immediately, then adapts to the new normal within weeks. You upgrade, you adapt, you need to upgrade again to feel the same thing. It is a subscription service for a feeling you never actually own. Here's the part most financial content skips over. Stopping status spending doesn't feel like a financial decision. It feels like a statement about who you are. When Marcus thinks about trading the truck for a Camry, he doesn't calculate the $757 monthly savings. He thinks, what does this say about me? He thinks about the coworker in the parking lot, the date who might ask what he drives, the version of himself he's been presenting, and what it means to quietly walk that back. That feeling is real. Consumer psychologists have documented that we incorporate possessions into our sense of self. The car, the apartment, the brand on the shirt aren't just things you own. They're part of the story you tell about who you are. Letting go of the truck doesn't feel like downgrading a vehicle. It feels like revising a story, like admitting something. But here's what the research actually shows happens after. The discomfort fades. The same hedonic adaptation that makes the truck feel normal after 3 weeks of excitement makes the Camry feel normal after 3 weeks of discomfort. And on the other side of it, nearly everyone who makes this shift reports the same thing, that the chronic background financial stress they'd stopped registering was costing more than they realized, and its absence feels better than the truck ever did. As for the social consequences, remember, 25% of people notice the Barry Manilow shirt. The ones who do notice and judge you for driving a used car, I mean this in the nicest way, should not be the advisory board for your financial decisions. They're almost certainly Marcus. Real wealth, the kind worth building, is a Tuesday morning. You wake up, make coffee, sit with the fact that you don't have to be anywhere. Not a vacation, not a reward. Just Tuesday, and Tuesday is yours. That's what Tyler's $2,390 per month is actually buying. Not in the account yet, but on the way, quietly, arithmetically, compounding while he sleeps. Research on money and happiness has settled on something specific. For most people, money's benefit comes almost entirely from autonomy, the ability to direct your own time, make your own choices, pursue your own goals without permission, not from the stuff. The stuff adapts to. A Harvard Business School study found that wealthy people, compared to the general population, spent dramatically more time on active leisure and significantly less time doing things they felt obligated to do. The luxury they were enjoying wasn't a car. It was the absence of obligation. You cannot buy that with a status purchase. A status purchase is vote against it. Every payment is a vote for staying exactly where you are in the same job, on the same treadmill for another month, because you cannot afford to disrupt the income that services the debt that funds the performance. Marcus doesn't just have a truck payment. He has a hostage situation. If you're sitting there right now with the truck payment and the credit card balance and the account that doesn't grow, I need to say something clearly. You are not bad with money. You are not irresponsible or shallow or failing at adulthood. You are running software that was installed in you by an economy that profits every single month you keep running it. The car dealer, the credit card company, the algorithm that showed you what success is supposed to look like. None of them make money when you say, actually, this doesn't work for me. They all make money while you stay in the loop. Recognizing the loop is the whole thing. Not the moment you buy the Camry or cancel the subscription or move to the cheaper apartment. Those are logistics. The moment is when you look at the truck and realize you don't actually want what the truck is. You want what you think the truck will make other people think of you. And since those people aren't watching anyway, since half the audience you imagined was never there, you have been paying $867 a month for a show with no viewers. Tyler is boring. Tyler is invisible. He drives the Camry, orders the house wine, lives in the apartment nobody looks up. And Tyler, at 44, is going to wake up on a Tuesday morning and not go anywhere. Not because he can't, but because he doesn't have to. Because $187,000 became $843,000 became enough. And he got there in the least dramatic way imaginable, by simply refusing to perform for people who weren't watching. That's what $5.4 million looks like before it arrives. Boring. Unremarkable. A 5-year-old Camry in a forgettable parking lot, and completely, absolutely arithmetically on its way.